Hello everyone, it is August 20th and this is Lisa Kester from the Wild Acorns Art Studio, and I am doing these pumpkins on old Barnwood today, and I thought I would share the process with you to see if you guys are interested too. And I'm distracted because I got this little Millie's over here trying to chew on my paper. Oh goodness. Oh, now she's gonna be my friend again. But anyway, here's what I made. Let's see if I can get the whole thing in here. You can see my sorry. You can see my son Christopher out there in the patio. He doesn't know he's in the video. Anyway, this is what I did. So when I first made this, before I put the Mod Podge on the top, it was very bright. The oranges were more bright. So I like it, but I don't know. I was a little disappointed that I wanted a little more orangey. So I put a little orange paint on the next ones that I'm doing today, but that's what that is. So this is all just pieces of paper, and I'll show you where I get them from. But like I said, it's just on this old piece of barnwood, and I've only got about, I think about 4 or 5 more pieces. So I'm hoping I can get some more, but it's, you know, it's pretty few and far between. Especially look how thick it is. It's like somebody I know took down a barn and cut it all up, and I had to bag them for a few pieces. I think I gave them something. I think I gave them pottery or something. But and I have a dog. I have Charlie at my feet, so I got to be careful where I roll. So I've been eating these. You guys like these things? Lifesavers gummies. Oh my gosh, these things are so addicting. Oh, there he goes. Charlie went out there. You gotta hide these things. Because then I got my water, seaside. If you ever been to Seaside, Florida? One of my favorite places. So anyway, so I got my drink. I got my snacks. Sorry. Let's get started. So, first of all, here's what, I'll lay this here. Here's what we're doing. And then here's all these papers, okay? I gotta stay organized here. So you can get these books online at on Amazon. I need to start putting some links in my videos. I know that. But oh my gosh, this whole book, okay, has all these different colors of paper, and it's so thick. And there's literally, you know, 100 pages in here of all fun. And of course you can make your own textured paper too, which I've done. But it's got a whole bunch of fun stuff in there. But believe it or not, there weren't a lot of orange. Can you believe that? So this is an orange piece of paper I made. Okay, I just painted that on a piece of watercolor paper. And then this came out of another book. Just white on one side. But it's real pretty, but it wasn't orange enough. So I took orange paint and kind of sponged it all where it was white to give it more of an orange. You can see without the glare. To give it more of an orange color. So I want it to be more orange. So let's lay these back over here. So I gotta swallow my little lifesaver gummy. Okay, so we'll lay this over here. So when I first started, I was just tearing up the pieces of paper randomly. And trying to tear them in the shape of a pumpkin. But that wasn't working out too well. So what I did was I took an old garbage bag and let me put this down here so you can see it. Took an old garbage bag and I drew a pumpkin on it, and then I just cut the pumpkin into sections. You can probably see it says Jersey Mike's. I like their subs. So the pumpkin is the right size to fit on my piece of wood. This is my piece of barnwood I'm using today. Ouch. Oh, I got a splinter in me. I did sand them down first, but gosh, you don't want them completely smooth, then you lose the effect of the barnwood. And I've got my overalls again, so I do have clean clothes on. I just keep wearing them. Like Lisa's in those overalls every time she does a video, but I've got like 4 or 5 pairs, so I'm kind of addicted to them. They're so comfortable. So, okay, so first, let me get my piece of paper here. So I want my pieces of paper on the pumpkin to be every other. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this on here like this. Okay. And I'm going to tear it out. And it's, I like it torn. You can cut it out if you like. But I kind of like it, that torn effect. Okay, and that, there we go. And it doesn't have to be exact. It's actually better if you cut them out just a little bit bigger, or tear them out just a little bit bigger than what you want. You guys are going to be shocked when you see another video from me, aren't you? You can tell when I have a show coming up because then I'm busy making stuff. Okay, so there's my first piece. Okay, so I'm going to lay that down. Let's see. I'm going to lay that down here so you can see it. And then here's my second piece. So I'm going to pick up this one here. I want to get 2 pieces out of here, so I have to tear it close. Now this is watercolor paper, and it's thicker than the other paper, so it's a little bit harder to tear. Now if you tear this way, you've got a big white, maybe I should raise this up just a tad. You get the big white seam. If you don't want the seam, you can push it down that way and you don't have the seam. And it's kind of easier if you put your finger there as you're tearing. You guys can see that. It's easier to tear if you've got your thumb there. And like I said, it doesn't really matter. As long as you tear a little bit bigger, it doesn't really matter if you're exact. Get my head out of the way so you can see that. These are so much fun. You can do these with anything. And like I said, if you're doing pottery, you can do this with underglaze transfers, like from Ellen Transfers and Sandbell Studios. Okay, so there's my second piece. So I'm going to lay that next to that piece. You can kind of see that. See how that's looking? Okay, and then all right, then my next one's going to be middle one, so actually it fits better that way. I just have to remember that I tore it upside down, don't I? I don't want any of the smooth edges. See, these tear so much easier than the watercolor paper. This isn't this isn't as thick as the watercolor paper. There we go, and let's see. Didn't I say I turned it? There we go. So I gotta turn it back. Okay, and then I got one more piece to do, and that's out of this piece here. Okay, and then just tear this. Might be easier to tear it this way. We just got back from taking Charlie for a walk in the park down by the river. We only live about a mile from the Ohio River. And there's a beautiful park down there called Fernbank Park. He's doing pretty good on the leash down there. He doesn't like to get in and out of the car. We gotta lift him up to get him in the car. And he's put some weight on, so that was no easy task to get his hiney in the car. But once he was in the car, he was good. He didn't barf on the way down, so that's, you know, that's always a plus. The first couple times we had him in a car, he threw up all over. But I don't know, I think he's, I think as long as he feels comfortable, he's not real nervous. But we didn't go very far. Like I said, the park is probably, well, probably a mile the way the crow flies, but it probably is actually like 2 or 3 miles from the river. But I drove kind of slow and didn't make any sharp turns. So he did good. Okay. Now, so we've got that. You can see our pumpkin there, kind of. I'm going to cut the little stones out of this old paper that I had. Let's see. I'm going to get some Mod Podge. I need a drink of water. Okay. Oh, yeah, I need some green leaves. See how I have the green leaves there? Now they're not, what would I say, botanically correct, I guess. But that's okay. I'm not writing a book on botanicals. So I'm just going to tear some leaves out. There we go. I think probably 3 will be good. Trying to find a nice corner to start. rid of all the smooth edges. There we go. Now on the last one that I did take a little bit of a brown paint, and I browned the edges because I don't want white. I don't want white edges. And then I'm also going to do a stem. So the stem I'm going to do out of here. Okay. So let's see here. This one's a little harder to tear because it has curled edges. There we go. I think I'm gonna, all right, let's see. I'm just gonna kind of just do this by freehand. There we go. That'd be my stem. And one more thing, we need some grass. I don't want the same color green. So I'm going to use some bright green. And like I said, on this one I did do some light brown acrylic, which I'm going to see if I got that in here somewhere. There we go. I'm going to stamp the edges just a little bit with this brown because I don't want, like I said, I don't want those white edges. Just need very, very little. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of water to it. Okay, so let me go ahead and tear these out. And these are just pretty simple. I mean, they're just, you know, just tearing out little pieces. And you can always, you know, shape them a little bit more later, like that one. I know it'll be too wide, but I could, well, I'm going to shape it a little bit now. But you can always, like I said, do it right before you go glue it down. You can, you know, reshape it. We are having such a beautiful fall day here. It's usually, I mean, in August, it's, you know, 80, 90, 95 degrees, but it was the only high of 69 or 70 today, which is just, it was perfect walking weather. My body's a little sore from the walking. My one knee is bothering me now, and it seems like it's always something. You just got to kind of go with the flow. Okay, I think that's good enough. That's good enough. Okay, I think we have all our, oh, we got it. I need some pebbles. Pebbles go at the bottom. See these little pebbles? So that is made by just newspaper. Actually, not newspaper, I'm sorry, paper bags. So I'm just going to tear up tear up some paper bags. This is probably the hardest part, is just tearing up all, you know, getting all your pieces together, assembling them all, getting them in the shape you want. Like if I was doing flowers, I would, you know, you really wouldn't even need a pattern for that because you're just doing petals. And petals are pretty, you know, easy to tear out, and they're pretty easy to maneuver onto a flower stem. Because that's my next project, is I want to do some art designs using all different color papers. I've been painting papers and kind of preparing for that. I was going to do a class on that. Where you basically paint with just different scraps of paper, and I thought that looked really fun. So you don't want your rocks, you know, your little pebbles all be the same size. It's kind of hard not to make them the same size. You get in that mode of tearing, and they all end up round. A couple weeks ago, I went to Cumberland Lake in Kentucky, which is a beautiful, beautiful lake. And I came home with some rocks. There's a ton of geodes down there. And but I found some rocks with these really neat fossils in them. And one was a perfect star. I don't know what would have made that. It's too small for a starfish. But it must have been the bone of maybe the bone of a sand dollar. I'm not sure, but I love fossils and rocks, and when you think about how old they are, it just, I don't know, that just mesmerizes me. Okay, well, let's see if I can move this around, because you guys you can't see the whole thing. Let's see. There we go. Is that better? Let's see. I'm going to slide my camera back just a little bit. There you go. All right. So now I've got the Mod Podge, and I'm sure you can use Golden makes a gel medium, I think it's called. So there's other ones you can make. Get another drink. I'm thirsty. All that walking. So I'm going to pour a little bit of Mod Podge in here. And the wood absorbs a lot of it, so you need you need quite a bit. And I add a little bit of water to it to help it soak in. And plus, if it, you know, when you're adding layers and layers, and you're adding Mod Podge to all the layers, you don't want to. You gotta be careful not to end up with too much, because it can become cloudy. So let's see here. Grab a brush. Stir this up. So I'll be at the Weber's Pumpkin Festival down on Kilby Road in Harrison, Ohio, on October, I think it's 20th and 22nd. It's a Saturday and Sunday, and that's where I'm going to be selling all this. And then once I'm done with that, I'm going to have a big sale here at my house. And I'll do a video when I get back, because I'll set everything up, and then if you guys see anything you want on the video, let me know and I can ship it. But I'm going to do a big sale, try to get rid of a lot of the pottery stuff that I have, because I don't want to store quite as much as I used to. Okay. Now my first, oh, that's right. I almost forgot a step. Okay, so remember I just got the little bit of brown. Acrylic. So I'm just going to go along these edges. Let me set this aside here a minute. I'll show you the difference. Okay, so see the difference in see I don't have that white outline. Sometimes you might want that, but for this pumpkin I really don't. So I just got a little bit of that brown acrylic paint on here, and you can use, I know that Ranger guy. I can't think of his first name. There's Tim Holton. I guess he does Ranger paints and stuff. You know, they have the stamps with all the different colors. I'm actually going to go over to Hobby Lobby and see if I can get myself some. But this is, you know, if you don't have something, you know, just use what you have. There you go. See that? I don't know. I just think that is prettier than, you know, for something rustic. See the difference? So now I've kind of lost what order these go in, so I have to figure out what order. These strips down shouldn't be too hard. And then this one I don't think really even needs hardly any because I tore it the other way. I'm going to go ahead and do this too. But I'm going to be careful not to, I don't want to do the whole thing. I did that on my other one and it kind of took some of the color out. I don't want to do that. I just want to get rid of those white edges. And I'm gonna go back and outline this anyway. I don't think I'm gonna do the leaves. I mean the grass, but I am gonna do the leaves. I wasn't gonna outline it with black liner, but you know, you guys know me. I sat there and I looked at it and I looked at it. I let it sit for a whole day, I think. And it just needed something, and so I had to go back and outline it with black marker. See, so here's the leaves. So see the difference in the leaves? Like I said, you might not want to do this on yours. I just think it, I don't know, I liked it. See how that looks? Okay. So now let's go back to where we were. Okay. So I think this was here. And let's see. Make sure they match up. No, that must have been over here. And I think this, let's see. I think this was here. And I think this was here. Let's see, I think that goes like that, except I think it's upside down. I think it's upside down, so let me move it around here. I told you I had them all mixed up. Okay. Because it's a little more narrower at the top. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Yeah, because this has got the this narrows up there, so okay. Okay, get it so you can kind of see it in there. Okay, so now I'm going to lay these aside in order, okay, so I don't get messed up. See if I can bring you back a little closer again. Okay, get my Mod Podge. So I'm going to do the back of this very generously, and then think about where I'm going to put it at. Kind of think about your composition. Yeah, I think this is good. And then I'm going to paint this really well. You gotta be careful you don't add too much water to the Mod Podge because it doesn't want to stick very well. I don't think I added too much water this time. Last time I added a little bit too much water. You want it really white. Okay. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to pull it up just a little bit. Okay. So get it where you want it. And then just put a generous coat. And if it doesn't stick at first, if you have trouble sticking, it doesn't want to stick here because it's the wood is so rough. But it will stick. Once it starts drying, you just take your finger and rub along the edges like that, and it'll stick. So for the next ones, and it's good to have a sponge handy to wipe your fingers off, because your fingers will get covered in Mod Podge, and you know how when you get sunburnt and you gotta peel the skin off the next day or a week later, I guess. That's what it feels like, because I've been pulling Mod Podge off my fingers for a week after doing my last one. But yeah, it does feel like a beautiful fall day here today. It's kind of weird. I know it's supposed to be 90 again this weekend, so we've got the air condition off and the doors open and the windows open. It feels so good. I know we'll have to close up the house next. I think this coming Friday or Saturday is supposed to get hot again. Okay, so kind of position that how you want it. Get that Mod Podge. I think some people probably just use Elmer's glue. I think Mod Podge is basically just like Elmer's glue anyway. All right, get ready for my next piece. See, this is the easy part. There's really no hard parts. The hard part's probably finding the right color papers that you want. And if you don't like it, you can always paint over it. I was going to paint over that other one, and then I took a marker and outlined it, and then I really liked it. It's, like I said, I don't know. I kind of want it to be a little bit brighter, but, you know, there's people who make pumpkins of all different colors. Purple and blue and green and white. And so I don't think it really matters what colors they end up, but you know, it's kind of what you have in your mind, what you want. So the same with pottery, you know, sometimes our expectations are higher than what our piece turns out like, or our piece turns out, you know, a little bit differently than what we wanted, especially in art too, but pottery, you know, once you put your piece in the kiln, it's up to the kiln gods. And you do the best you can, right? To make it look beautiful, but sometimes, you know, if it sits too close to an element, or things can happen. I really wasn't planning on making a video today, but I was watching my online class, which I mentioned before, with she calls them art flow cards. Hers aren't ATC cards, but they look like ATC cards, the art trading cards. But her name's Laley Miller, Lally Miller, and but hers are like art flow cards, like inspirational, and she had all different kinds of words on her cards and stuff for inspiration. And one of them was, you know, sometimes even if you're not quite in the mood to do art, you should go ahead and do it anyway. And, you know, just do it. And as I was sitting in my recliner, I thought, you know, I need to get up and do something. Sometimes it's hard to get motivated to do things. I had trouble with motivation lately. All right, so let's put the top on here. Isn't that cute? So I don't know if I want it sitting straight up, or if I want it, I think I want it slanted just a little bit, right? So let's get a whole bunch of Mod Podge. I always say Mod Podge, but it's Modpodge. I don't know, I've always said Mod Podge. I mean, for something like this, you don't want to use something too expensive. But this class with Laley Miller, I you know, I don't know. For some reason, the class is only like $39 or $35, which I thought was very, very reasonable. And it's an online class. You have access to it, I think, forever. I really wasn't expecting a whole lot. I know that's not, well, I don't know why. She's a beautiful painter, you know. But anyway, it just, it was, she had some things in there that were really inspirational. My skeptical self was surprised. I don't know why I've gotten so skeptical in my older age. I don't know. So when this becomes clear, you'll be able to see it better. This is already starting to dry a little bit. And I will put another coat on here before I'm done. But see, my hands are getting all gooky, so I gotta dry my hands off, or wash my hands off a little bit. It's a sponge. They're getting all sticky. Sticky, sticky. Okay, so now we're gonna do the leaves. So I think, let's see here. I think I'll put that one over there because that's the bigger one. And maybe I'll put, let's see. How about that? And then I'll just bend it over the side. I think this way. How about that? I think I like that better. This way here. I think that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bend this. I'm going to see where I want to bend it, like that. Can you see I bent it over the corner there? I'm going to take this back off and take that one back off. But see, it helps if you pre-bend them so that when you wrap it around the corner of the wood, it's easier, it sticks easier. And you want to gook this stuff on. Just gook it on. Is that a word? Gook it on. Okay, so I think that's where I had it. I need to put a little more on up here. Okay. There we go. Gosh, it wraps around even the back. Okay, here we go. There we go. These are so much fun to do. You can buy, like I said, oh my gosh, when you go on Amazon and look for decorative papers, a lot of people use napkins, colored, you know, flowered napkins or decorative napkins, and there's so much really pretty stuff out there. Or you can make your own, you know, too. Nothing wrong with that. I've got 4 boxes of colored paper designs that I've made myself for my collage flowers that I'm going to make. I'll do a video on that too. But for those, I made my own papers because that's, I don't know, that's more like real, not, well, nothing I do is probably real artwork, but it's, you know, it could be. But it's actual art is what I guess what I'm getting at. So you don't want somebody else's design on that. Whereas these are just home decor. I don't know. I guess it's, I always think of that as there's a difference. I guess there really shouldn't be, but. So I'm going to bend this flower. And I'm going to fill this with Mod Podge. And when I'm done, I'll go over the whole thing. That's like I said again, so everything stays down really well. And then I'll let that dry, and then I'll outline it. I always say I'm not going to outline it, and then I just can't stand it. I don't know, everything seems to stand out better when you outline it, right? This isn't sticking real well over here, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Kind of gook that on there real good. There we go. And like I said, if it doesn't stick real well the first time, as it dries, it'll get much more tackier. And then it'll stick. Okay. Now, and you do want to make sure you let this first coat dry, because if you come back with this and start smearing on here, especially if you painted some of these yourself, you might start smearing the colors. I had that happen a little bit on my last one too. Oh, my hands are all full of glue. I wish you could see this a little bit better, but until this dries. But you can kind of see it. You move it back a little bit. There you go. But it should be drying pretty fast. I won't put the final coat on until after the video's over. That way you can see it. I'm not looking at a white board. Okay, so now I'm going to put on these grasses. Let's see here. So here's how my other one looks. See how I put the grasses on the bottom? That's what I kind of want to do with this one. And see, I got the little pebbles down here. Just to add some more interest besides just a pumpkin. So I think I'll... It's kind of hard to put these down because it's not hard to put them down. It's just hard to... Once they're down, they're kind of hard to get back up again. Let's see. We're just gonna go for it. We're just gonna go for it. The heck? Somebody's honking their horn out there. Oh, it must be 3 o'clock. What if it's 3 o'clock? The high school let out up the street, so, you know. They all have to, I guess, let their friends know they're going by. It's pretty noisy here. Rush hour traffic and when the high school lets out. I didn't really think we lived on a busy street when we bought the house, but it turned out it is pretty busy. Okay. You don't want to cover up the whole pumpkin, so I'm starting down a little bit here. I don't know, that one seems a little big. I think that one's too big. Like I said, I don't want to cover up the whole pumpkin. There we go. I think that's better. Okay, let's see here. I think I'll put this one over here. I think actually I'll bend this one around the side. See if it'll stick. I didn't really put any Mod Podge over there, but it's a thin piece, so it should be okay. And then I'll put just a few pieces, whoops, down here in the center. Tear this one. I don't want it quite as fat as it was. There we go. There we go. Now, get my little pebbles over here. Because yeah, this wood absorbs a lot of Mod Podge, but it does make it nice and shiny. I did a painting on one where I didn't put Mod Podge over the top, and some people really liked that, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I like both, I guess. So I'm just going to dip this in the Mod Podge. Try to put these as random as possible. Sometimes it's hard to do that. You end up with a pattern, and you don't want a pattern. I got 2 more here. Let's see. Oops. There we go. I don't want the printed side of the bag up. There we go. How's that? Okay. Wash my hands. Try to get some of the glue off. I'll be peeling glue off tonight, I'm sure. It's really hard to see it, you know, when you first do it. And then I usually just go set it out in the sun, let it dry a little bit. Then you can kind of see your creation. See if you like it. Go outside, hold your breath until you see it. It wasn't too good when I saw the other one. I just did not like it at all. But like I said, then I added the black liner, and that made all the difference. Okay. So let me put some up here. I think I've got all my pieces on. I got extra Mod Podge. So let me go ahead and just put it on up here. And I have my blow dryer here that I can speed up the drying process a little bit so you guys can see it. This really does add a nice shine. And I, you know, really with these, I wouldn't care if they didn't have a shine, but you really don't have a choice, because by the time you put all this Mod Podge on, to glue your pieces to the wood, you know, you've got the Mod Podge everywhere. And I got a big hole there where, I'll have to show that to you. I was going to put it in the back and hide it, but I thought, you know, it's part of the Barnwood. I guess some kind of a boring, one of those wood boring bees, I'm guessing. Maybe that, or a woodpecker. Put a big hole in it. There we go. And you have to do the sides. I don't do the back. No sense in wasting Mod Podge on the back. Oh, I do see I got some cat hair here. I gotta get the cat hair off. Oh, I have cat hair everywhere. Oh. And I gotta get this little piece here glued down. It wrapped all the way around to the very back. I don't really like how it goes quite that far, but oh well. It is what it is, right? We'll just go with it. Okay. Now, I'm going to, since this is Mod Podge and it's glue, I don't want to ruin this brush. This is one of my acrylic brushes. And you can use a sponge brush too, one of those little cheap 99-cent sponge brushes. But on this rough surface, this brush just gets stuck. The sponge gets kind of ruined. So, I'll show you this here. This is, I always show how I clean my brushes. It's called Scrubby. And it's a natural soap-infused scrubber. It's for the home and garden, garage and workshop, kitchen, art studio, auto, and marine. And it removes paint, oil, dirt, grease, and more. There you go. And I just get mine off of Amazon. I get everything off of Amazon. It's sad to say, but they just make it too easy. So that's all you do is just, look at that. Whoa, I dumped a little water in there. Because I haven't used it in a while. Yeah, that's all you do is just, look at that. You just move your brush around in a circle. And then stick it in the water. Rinse it off really good. Because you don't want your brush to end up hard as a rock. There we go. I'm bad about taking care of my brushes, so that's why I got the soap. I'm forgetful. I leave them in the water all night and then the wood swells up, and that's not good. Not good. So let me see if I can put the blow dryer on there real quick, and well, what I'll do is let me come right back. Let me come right back. All right, we are back. So it is dry now. Let's see here. I've got a cat in the box though now. So let me try to move. That's Molly. I don't know what she's doing. All right, but now it's dry so you can see it. So let's move it. Let's see, how's the best way to...
Hey, Bubba.
It just doesn't show very well. So, but I'll show you up close. It's not 100% dry, but it's dry enough for me to go ahead and put the markings on it. Let me move this over here. There we go. Easier if my camera was turned the other way. When you're doing long stuff like this, it's hard to see get the whole thing in there. But all right. So I could just leave it unoutlined, but it just doesn't. The colors just don't pop. So I'm going to start at the bottom here. I'm just going to very loosely go around and outline them. Not like perfect. I want it imperfect. Like I said, it's still a little hazy. Or I guess cloudy might be a good word. Because it's not 100% dry. It'll get crystal clear. Pretty close to crystal. I shouldn't say crystal clear, but it'll get pretty clear though. Put a couple dots in here just to show some dirt. It kind of helps ground it, I think, like the rocks just aren't like floating in space. Okay, so let's start with this piece of grass. Like I said, we're just doing it loosely. Sometimes I think it would look better if you did it with your non strong hand, or your right hand, do it with your left hand. What's that word? Can't think of it. Dominant, your non-dominant hand. There we go. See, look at that, it's popping already. See the difference? Okay. Now let's do the pumpkin part. This is to me, this is the most fun part. And I usually do a couple lines, just almost like you're sketching it. You know. I have to talk to my brother, see if I can't get some more of this Barnwood, because I really like how these are turning out. I laid this out in the sun for a little bit. I blew dry it for a little bit, try to speed it up, and then I laid it out in the sun. And I went outside and sat on my little swing out there. And I am loving this weather. Oh, I could sit outside all day. I love being outdoors. I think that's about it. Goodness, let's see. This other one I went over a lot. I went over quite a few times. I'm trying to hold the marker very loosely because I don't want a bunch of straight lines. Go around the bend here. Going around the bend. Going around the bend. There we go. Well, let's see. It's looking pretty good. I think I could outline forever. But yeah, let me put my. I think I'm done. Let me put a few. All right, that's it. I could get this glare off of here, and there it is. Hope you can see that. I'll hold it up. There you go. Try to get the glare off that for you. Didn't it turn out cute? I really like how these turn out. Let me see if I can move back a little bit. You can see the whole thing. Yeah, you gotta see the whole thing, but it's just too big. It's too big. There we go. That's probably the best shot I have. Yeah. So that is it. That's it. It's easy to do. And if you guys do one, let me know. Let me know how yours turned out. And I just think they're so much fun. And anybody can do them. So you can use napkins. You can go buy this pack of paper. There's just make sure it has orange in it, because this one didn't have very much orange in it. Just about every color but orange. So, but like I said, I just made my own paper and added some orange to this paper. And yeah, I think it turned out really nice. So I'll add some more Mod Podge to the sides. And I don't know if I'll do another coat on here or not. It's looking like it's pretty good coverage except for the sides here, and then I'm done. So thank you for watching, as always. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And I appreciate all your kind words. Oh my goodness. You guys are so nice. Let's see my hair. Oh, my hair's all messed up. But thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And if you like these videos, please hit subscribe. And please share them. It helps me if you share them. And I am over 5,000 people. 5,000 followers. That's exciting. So I don't know. I gotta do some kind of I gotta think about this. I thought about doing some kind of giveaway or something. So we'll see. It's a celebration. But have a great day. And again, thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, be good to yourself and make art.